African leaders have just proved that Africa is indeed broken for its people, but continues to be a vessel of wealth to the global north. Tell me why Nigerian former President Muhammadu Buhari, who recently died, was hospitalized in London until his death. We are led by people who don't even believe in what they are leading. What are you telling the people of Nigeria? What he's basically saying is that Nigeria is good enough for you, but not good enough for me. I mean, this man has been president for so long. He has led multiple of systems that form part of the government of Nigeria, that form part of Nigeria. And for him to go be hospitalized in Europe rather than to use the very systems that he was leading, it's a slap in the face. He's basically saying, hey, Nigeria, yeah, you know what? Nigeria is good enough for the people of Nigeria, but not good enough for me. I don't even trust it. So why the hell are we appointing leaders if they don't believe in what they're leading? Is it necessary to have leaders in Africa at this point? Because all I see or all I'm hearing or what I'm witnessing is that they are, white monopoly stooges, they're white supremacist clerks, they are puppets of the West. They don't even believe in the power they possess.
This is the London hospital that Buhari died. Now this hospital in London that Buhari died. Make una take a look at this hospital now. Does it mean that this hospital now, we no fit build this hospital in Nigeria? This hospital where all of us they watch like this, does it mean that we cannot build this hospital here in Nigeria? How much did they only use to renovate ICC Center? International Conference Center? How much? How many billions? That this hospital now, how much can this hospital cost that we no fit build this hospital that our president has to go abroad and die, and they go bring our president in a cargo? Do you know the funny part? The doctors, the medical professionals where they work for this hospital, na Nigerians. Now Nigerians, many of them allegedly, many doctors and nurses and medical professionals that are working in this hospital where our president died in, allegedly, now Nigerians, Nigeria people. So waiting remain again now. Does it mean that we don't have money to build this hospital? We have, right? Does it mean that we don't have money to buy medical products, right? Now we have qualified doctors. So what are we waiting for? What is stopping us to have good qualified doctors? It's embarrassing that our president died abroad, or our former president died abroad after ruling a country for 8 years. You couldn't build a hospital that would take care of your health. Now you have to go to London and die.
I can't fathom the fact that this man, the man, was hospitalized in London until his death. London, not Abuja, not Lagos, not Nigeria as a whole. Now, let's pause. Why wouldn't the president of the most populous black nation on earth be treated in his own country? Why isn't he treated in his own country? What does that tell us? That he didn't believe in his own healthcare system? That he didn't believe in the very people he was leading? This is the hypocrisy of African leadership. They preach patriotism, they scream nationalism, but when it's time to trust the hospitals, the schools, the roads, the electricity, they run to Europe. They run to America. They run to the same colonial systems they claim to have liberated us from. If Buhari, after ruling Nigeria for years, couldn't be hospitalized in Nigeria, then what does that say about his legacy, about his governance? It screams failure. It screams betrayal. Because how do you lead a country whose systems you refuse to use? How do you call yourself a leader when you are running from the very reality your people are living in daily? And this is not just about Buhari. It's a disease across Africa. Leaders build nothing for the people, but when they get sick, they use the people's money to fly to Europe for treatment. They don't trust the systems they leave behind because they know those systems are broken, neglected, and abandoned. They siphoned the money made or meant to build those systems for themselves, to enrich themselves. And when they die, all those riches come crumbling down to dust. All they have acquired using blood money and the people's money, all of it crumbles to dust. Crumbles to dust. The work done is zero. So let's be real. A president who cannot even believe in his country's healthcare has no business leading it. Hence, I say, do we need leaders in Africa if we're being honest? Do we need democratic leaders? Let me put it that way. Do we need military junta leaders like Ibrahim Traore? Or do we need democratic leaders that have taken from the hymn books of the Western world of what democracy is supposed to be, what the foundation democracy is supposed to be built on? Because the very core of democracy, the foundation of democracy, is unrelatable to the normal African person. They took a page from the Western world of what democracy is supposed to look like. And that time, it does not even stick to our reality. That time, they don't even know what they're implementing half of the time. It's working in the Western world because the people can relate to that system. Democracy has failed us. Democracy has failed us. Hence, I'm like, I support coups. I support military takeovers in Africa because it's doing more good than harm. If we can check the economy of Burkina Faso right now under Ibrahim Traore, it has leveled up. It has grown. It has developed. It created a culture or a safety net where people can relate to the leaders and have conversations with leaders. Leaders and the people, there is no gap between the leaders and the people. It has created that connection between the leader and the people. Democracy has made it seem like these African leaders are gods, like they're kings. They are nothing. They are not. They're here to siphon our energies, siphon our spirit, siphon our wealth, and auction it off to the Western world. The Western world can afford good healthcare system and a good country in general because they have siphoned wealth from us. We keep those systems intact and enriched and functioning, yet we fail to make ours function. And then, as I'm rambling like this, there is another one who did not believe that Zambia can house him. Even in death, he did not believe. Now, former Zambia President Edgar Lungu died at the beginning of June 2025, and his family requested that he be buried in South Africa. Aibo, what is wrong with Zambia's cemeteries? Why should he be buried in South Africa? The South African court has just denied that request from the family, and rightfully so. That's why they are crying and making a scene. They should be crying to the Zambian court, not us. How can a head of state be buried in another country and not the one he has ruled for many years? But it turns out that Edgar Lungu, the former president of Zambia, has swindled Zambia of millions of dollars during his presidency and fled to South Africa's upmarket neighborhood in Midrand to live an extravagant life. Those that know Midrand know that it is an affluent neighborhood. According to sources, the family possesses a staggering 150 luxury automobiles, including a brand new Range Rover registered to Lungu's daughter and son-in-law. Now, according to Zambian investigators, most of this opulence derives from cash embezzled during Lungu's presidency, which is now being closely scrutinized by Zambia's current administration. With a corruption investigation tightening its grasp, the family unexpected request that Lungu be buried in South Africa, supposedly fulfilling his dying wish or whatever that implies, raises more than just questions. Now, what makes South Africa so welcoming to a fugitive legacy family? Public funds are now being used to secure a body that was never officially certified dead on South African soil. There is no official documentation. There is no transparency, just privilege shrouded in diplomatic quiet. They're running away from their mess. They've embezzled millions of dollars out of Zambia, and now they're coming here to live a luxurious life, and they expect us to bury this fraud, to bury this thief. Never. The people of Zambia must take his body back to Zambia, and they must bury it in the river or cut it up in pieces and feed it to the pigs, but just not here in South Africa. We refuse. We refuse. I mean, the South African government give us hell for not even having a death certificate. You can't bury someone without a death certificate. There's so many processes that the government makes the ordinary South Africans to go through. But Edgar Lungu, coming from wherever hole that he's from, is going to come here in South Africa for and request to be buried here. At this point, money speaks more than values. Money speaks more than values and respect. At this point, I hate African leaders under democracy. I hate them. Hate them, Esana. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News Family. And oh, family, did I tell you that I have my very own YouTube channel? It's called The Native Talk, where I dissect everything African diaspora, from travel to the culture to everything that has to do with Black people, particularly South Africa, Limpopo, where I showcase my cultural background, my landscape. The landscape in Limpopo is beautiful, and I would love for you to come travel with me one day to Limpopo province so you can explore this beautiful province, because I know you guys are used to Johannesburg, Durban, or Cape Town, but Limpopo is one untapped market in tourism, and I would love to invite you guys here to join me and travel in occupants and wealth and luxury and safety. So do head over to the Native Talk, subscribe